Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive shift happening in robotics. It goes way beyond just making machines that look and move like us. We are right on the edge of a new era, an era of AI-powered humanoids that are being designed to think, interact, and, yeah, even relate to us in ways we've only seen in science fiction. So let's get into it.
To really get a grip on where this is all going, we first have to look at what robots can already do. And honestly, it's pretty wild.
I mean, we've all seen those videos, right? Robots like Boston Dynamics' Atlas that can run and jump and do parkour with this incredible, almost uncanny agility. They are absolute marvels of engineering, and they're mastering the physical world in ways we used to think were impossible. But as you watch these machines do backflips, you have to ask a bigger question. Is being able to copy human movement the same thing as capturing what it actually means to be human? And that question, that's where the real revolution begins. Because this next great leap forward in robotics, it isn't just about better motors or more flexible joints. It's a huge, fundamental shift in what we even want our robots to be in the first place. And this brings us to a really critical distinction that researchers are making right now. You see, for decades, the goal was just human looking. Get the head, arms, and legs right. But the new frontier is humane and human level. We're talking about a shift from the hardware to the software of the soul, if you will. The goal now is to build in things like empathy, trust, ethics, and actual intelligence. And this whole idea have kicked off an entirely new field, humanoid AI. The vision here isn't just a robot that works on its own. It's about creating a deeply connected ecosystem. Picture it, a world where humans, AI, and robots are all woven together, creating machines that don't just do tasks, but can coordinate with us, and, most importantly, can humanize how they interact. Okay, so how do we actually get there? How do you build a robot that doesn't just look like a person, but can genuinely connect with one? Well, researchers have basically mapped out a kind of evolutionary ladder to get us there. It starts with the basics, the physical body, then senses, then actions, then functions. But the really huge jump happens in those last two stages, going from just functioning like a human to actually having human-like humanity, empathy, trust, ethics. That's the game changer. And the final peak, true human-level intelligence with all the creativity and cognition that comes with it. So what's pushing this all forward so fast? Well, to put it simply, you just have to follow the money. This isn't just a cool science project. It's a colossal business opportunity. The market for just the physical robots, the hardware, is expected to hit $38 billion by 2035. That's a huge number, but that's just the body. The real story here is the brain. The generative AI that's going to power these robots, that's part of a market that could be worth up to $4.4 trillion every single year. Suddenly, $38 billion feels kind of small, doesn't it? The robots are just the tip of this gigantic AI iceberg, and you can see exactly where the smart money is flowing. The market for bipedal, two-legged humanoids is growing way faster than the market for wheeled robots. And the reason is pretty simple, right? If you want these things to interact with us seamlessly, they need to be able to navigate a world that was built for us, a world of stairs and curbs and doorways. Of course, as these incredibly advanced robots get closer and closer to being real, we have to deal with our own feelings about it all. And those feelings can be pretty complicated. So, designers are bumping up against this psychological trap called the uncanny valley. The idea is that we tend to like robots more and more as they look more human, but only up to a point. Once they get almost perfect, but something is just a little off, our reaction totally tanks. They just become unsettling or, let's be honest, just plain creepy. And getting that balance just right is one of the biggest challenges they face. How we feel about them is also shaped by our culture. This survey data shows a really fascinating split. For instance, people in the UK tend to have more negative feelings about humanoid robots than people in Japan. It's not clear why. Maybe it's pop culture, maybe it's different histories with automation.
But it shows there's no single one-size-fits-all approach to rolling these things out.
So, beyond just our gut feelings, when you ask people what specifically worries them about this tech, a few major ethical red flags pop up again and again. When you look at the numbers, two concerns just blow everything else out of the water. A huge 90% of people surveyed bring up privacy. What are these things recording? What are they listening to? And right behind that, at 85%, is physical safety. The third big worry, at 60%, is the one we always talk about. Are these things going to take our jobs? But even with these challenges, the vision for the future isn't just about avoiding problems. It's about building something totally new, something incredibly ambitious and connected. The future isn't one single super robot. The really big idea, which you can see in this framework, is a whole network of decentralized humanoids. Think about it like your phone. It has some power on its own, but it connects to the cloud for the real heavy lifting. These robots will do the same thing, tapping into massive AI models in the cloud. It's a kind of hybrid brain that gives them this amazing flexibility to learn and adapt constantly. So ultimately, we're moving past the pure engineering problem. The evidence is all pointing in one direction. We can build them. The question isn't technical anymore. It's philosophical. As we stand right here on the brink of this humane revolution, how are we going to define our relationship with this new kind of intelligence? That's the conversation we all need to be having right now.